Some of you might argue that I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, and I feel that that one's justified. But today we're doing something a little bit different again, in that I'm going to be reviewing a cheap supermarket blended whiskey. This is Queen Margot, and it's the 3-year-old, and there's a reason I want to talk about this, and it's not just because it's cheap. Hello there everyone, and welcome to John Drinks, the channel in which I, John, have a drink, and today we're looking at this. This is a cheap supermarket whiskey that made the news a couple of years ago. So in certain newspapers, the ones in red boxes that love the armed forces and hate brown people, they decried this as the world's best whiskey because it won a couple of awards and it was dirt cheap. So naturally that means it's automatically the best because it's cheap and it won some stuff. That's how that works, right? Yeah. Spoilers, this isn't the best whiskey in the world, but it's actually pretty good. I know, I'm surprised as well, but it is actually pretty good. So, as you can probably already see, I've had a couple of nips out of this. I've been getting to know it, and to be honest, I dig it. It's got a signature that is very much its own. I'm gonna pour this into my glass. I've colour coordinated today. I don't know if you noticed that. You know, red. Yeah, hey, look at me doing stuff. There we go. I'm just gonna pop a little nip in there. Because I've got a lot of reviews to get done, so try not to get wasted. Fail miserably. Cool, so cheap blended whiskey. What's that about? Why am I reviewing this? Well, it's certainly not for the clicks, because I think most people have forgotten this exists at this point. I am an advocate of having a bottle of just sort of bog standard blend or malts on the shelf. The key component is that you like it. So if you're a fan of Famous Grouse, keep a bottle on the shelf. If you prefer Scottish Leader, keep a bottle on the shelf. If you're more of a Bell's person, keep a bottle on the shelf. If it's something that doesn't break the bank, that is just sort of a workhorse whiskey, go for it. The cat has entered the room. What shenanigans will happen now? Oh, come here. Oh, say hello to the people. I'm not going to hold you up to me because that ruins the microphone a little bit. Hello. This is Mo, everybody. Oh, this is a little bonus. Some of you may have met him before. He tried some cat wine for me a couple of years ago, and there'll be a video up in the corner. Didn't you? Yeah. Hey. What are you up to? What are you doing? What's going on? I'll tell you what, actually. You have a better nose than me. What do you think of this? No? Oh, no. Okay, so the cat's not a fan. He prefers, actually, if it's under 25 years old, he don't want to know. Do you want to get out? Is that what you're after? So yeah, I was in Lidl buying some, you know that like cheap white chocolate that, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, I like that stuff. And you sort of have to queue by the liquor section, which is why I don't go in there very often because, oh no. And I noticed this and I was like, I've not done that. Why not? This was, I think, about £7 for this or something like that. I don't really remember. I kept the receipt somewhere. Due to minimum pricing, probably a bit more than that actually. But anyway, key facts. Chill filtered, coloured, 40%. It's your standard blend. But I've been digging this. I have. So it's been given about 3 minutes now, hasn't it? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. And then we're going to talk about sort of the critical reason why I'm doing this in the first place. The nose has this like really vegetal funk about it. Something like broccoli and copper coins, you know, like penny coins. There's something metallic about it. But then there is kind of like a bit of a malt sort of an influence in there, sort of like a rough and ready malt kind of character. There's a little bit sulphuric as well, there's a little bit of smoke. The nose has a fair bit going on. Probably be surprised to hear me say that. I mean, you'll probably go back to like other reviews where I've done malt whiskies and they're like, oh, he said this smelt of nothing, but this is complex. He's talking shite. And to be fair, most of us are that review liquor on the internet. We're too pissed to talk most of the time, to be fair. But yeah, the nose is kind of complicated. When you think about blended whiskies, really, there's a lot they have to do to make it a balanced product. A lot of them don't nail it, but then a lot of them don't need to because they've got advertising behind them. This doesn't. So, does that mean that they have to make a better product? No, but they have anyway. Again, that like copper coin thing is coming through. And there's this wonderful sort of... If anyone's ever tried mixing miso and caramel, it's a thing. Do you know, this is a very specific thing. There's an ice cream shop in Edinburgh called Mary's Milk Bar. I say it's an ice cream shop, it's more of sort of a pilgrimage for anyone that likes iced desserts or chocolate or just anything, really. It is the size of a shoebox, and I swear to God, she could have an empire by now. And I was in the other day, and she was doing a miso caramel. There was another flavour in there somewhere. It was like a miso caramel ripple or something like that. And I was like, that's a bit weird. I'll try that. Oh man, does that work. Dear God, does that work. Sweet fucking Jesus, just do it. Anyway, back to the whiskey. There's a bit of that in there. It's got a really savoury umami kind of a thing going on. There's like a soy sauce element. A little bit of gentleman's relish. I don't mean cum, I mean the anchovy paste. Although there is a bit of cum in that, actually, now I come to think of it. Because it's 40%, it doesn't need any water, but pop a little bit in there anyway. Now then, obviously, with this being a cheap blend, you're going to go towards cocktails. If you want a sipper, it works. It actually does. A lot of the reasons why blended whiskies now are relegated to mix it with Coke anyway is because they're kind of rough products in a lot of cases, and this isn't really a rough product. It's pretty fucking good. It's different. It's weird. I think fans of Springbank will get on with this very well because it's got that kind of weird edge to it that you can't really put your finger on. There's like that funk to it. It just kind of works. And do you know what the most impressive thing is? It stands up to water. I accidentally chucked in quite a bit there, and it's like, yeah, alright, no bother. More sort of caramel barley notes coming out of it. It's turned a little bit chocolatey, but there's still this kind of like... I'm not quite sure how to describe it other than like there's a metallic tang to it, but it's not an unpleasant one. That's the weirdest thing about it. Like, you know, if I said, oh, you're sucking on a penny or something, you'd be like, oh, I don't fancy that. But it just kind of works. You know what, when I picked this up, I was anticipating, alright, I'll pick it up, and it'll be a bit rough and ready, but it'll be alright. It's actually good. That's what's surprising me. It's good. And it's cheap as anything. I struggle to think how they're even making any money off of this. But here's the real kicker, and more so the point of this video. It's got an age statement. People talk about this in whiskey all the time. All whiskey has to be a minimum of 3 years, and sure enough, there it is on the bottle, aged 3 years. All supermarket blends do this. That's what I find kind of hilarious. All supermarket blends do this. They put aged 3 years on it. Now, I don't know whether it's this thing where they're like, oh, well, it's such a cheap and uninspiring product that putting any kind of an age statement automatically elevates it. And then when you get to the malt whiskey category, they're like, oh no, well, we want to not muddy it by having a young age statement. It's like, you can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. Which perception is it? For me, you're at least honest when you put an age statement on it, because, I mean, yeah, you know, by saying it's whiskey, you are essentially saying it is 3 years. Still stick it on there, you know? If it's 4 years or 5 years, let us know. Give us that transparency. What's the harm? It's the liquid at the end of the day. If you've got a 5-year-old, like Ardbeg have recently done, for example, that's pretty damn good. Great. You're letting people know, hey, our whiskey's good at 5 years old. Then you can start releasing more of your stocks early. I don't get this mindset. I'm confused by it. There's probably some sort of slightly dated marketing reason for it. I don't get it. Yeah, that's the Queen Margot. It is actually a very competent sipper. I dig it. You'll get to see my scores down below. I wanted to quickly update you on something as well. Since I last announced my sort of new scoring system out of 20, I've made an amendment. A few people were commenting that I'm essentially giving 2 points to cask strength, which Technically speaking, yes. Technically speaking, no. I went into this and I explained my reasoning. In practice, I kind of was. So what I've done is I've gotten rid of cask strength. I've made it 46 plus. And therefore, I've changed cask strength to age statement instead. So this one's going to essentially get an extra point on that. And I'm going to be amending the other scores as and when I can. But yeah, this is a cracking little whiskey. And also proof, if it be needed, I don't always rail against chill filtered and coloured. If it's a good whiskey, great. Fantastic. It's also not pretending to be better than it is. There's the key difference. If Dalmore was a tenner a bottle, yeah, right, colour it, chill filter it, I don't give a fuck. Whatever. It's not, it's pretending it's the height of sophistication. It's pretending that you're getting bang for your buck when you're not. That's what I've got an issue with. It's not necessarily the processes themselves. Don't get me wrong, I prefer them not to happen, but I get why they do. And it doesn't always cause as big of a problem, depending on the whiskey. There's my little thing. Comment down below, have you tried the Queen Margot? Should I give the 8-year-old a go? Might just get another bottle of this, actually, to be honest. I think this might be my staple whiskey. Not like, you know, drink it every night, but although, to be fair, I've been nipping into it a fair bit since I got it, so maybe. Thumb the video if this is the shock of 2020 for you, because, let's face it, it probably qualifies, actually, even given the shit show that we've had this year. And yeah, just, you know, sort of get on with your life and try and make the most of the rest of the year, because what else can go wrong, right? Oh, why do I say these things out loud? And do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.